Welcome to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse?
With your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton.
Yeah, baby.
The Larsen family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larsen Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larsen Hay on the web at larsenhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show this week, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
You did it. Spot on.
I was waiting for the Peterson and Smith one, and you didn't give me a chance. No breathing.
Really appreciate you joining us for the show this week. We have a wonderful lineup for you. And the second segment, instead of having our normal veterinarian segment, we actually had a chance to chat to Mr. Richard Larsen at Larsen Farms while he was here about the hurricane efforts that he participated and supported us in after Ian, and all the wonderful donations that he gave us to transport down south. And so we're going to share that interview with you this week. And I'm very thankful to Mr. Larsen Integrity, wonderful man who has done so much for so many who are genuinely in need, and that has been huge. So we're going to share that with you. And then following, we have... Who do we have?
Horse protection. Dancing Pete Rhoda from Cornerstone.
Complimentary
horsemanship.
You're doing good this week.
Yeah, well, it popped up on the screen, so I went with it.
And we're actually going to have 3 segments with Glenn, which we've been posting. We're excited to have him here with us and talk a little bit more about horsemanship and some of his adventures. And Pete actually brought Glenn to us, so we're very excited about that. Woo-hoo. And then we're going to close out the show on a bit of a fun note, and we're going to have Olivia Fuller here from Crystal Cryo, who's going to share a little equestrian self-care with us. So it should be a great lineup. But first of all, I want to mention some upcoming events that we have. The Horse Protection Association of Florida, who turned tragedy into triumph with their rescue, is doing a spirit walk on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at their farm, which is in Micanopy. And you can actually reach out to Christine at hpaf.org. If you would like to book a session, you can choose one of the minis. Faith, Hope, Love, and Courage are their names.
Courage.
And you can, I know, right? What are you trying to say? And you can take a spirit walk with one of those minis and spend some time. You can take a walk, sit on a bench, relax, and enjoy getting to know the miniature horses. So that is a very, very fun thing to do. I think it should be on our list of fun activities in the near future. And actually, Christine said to come on out, us to come out anytime and we'll film it. So it'll be a lot of fun. So do the spirit walk and support a wonderful organization, and every little bit of donation from this will go to feed those horses. So it's a great cause as well. Coming up, everybody should have a ticket to this. And if you can't go, you can buy a ticket and you can give it to a veteran, and a veteran will go. And I think that's awesome. This is the Hero Horse, a magical true story about Magic, the miniature therapy horse from Gentle Carousel, who is actually the only living, most heroic animal in the history of the world. She is a miniature horse that visits 25 to 50,000 sick and dying adults and children a year. She goes to rehab. She goes to disaster scenes. She visits with first responders. She actually visited with the first responders and families who lost people at the Sandy Hook Elementary. She also visited the nightclub in Orlando after the shootings there. She has traveled around the world visiting people, taking literally their last few breaths in life, giving them dreams come true to meet a horse. Their horses, every one of their horses at Gentle Carousel is actually potty trained, so they do not even wear a bag to enter hospitals. They carry $2 million worth of insurance so that they can visit all kinds of different facilities. And these horses actually tap the ground twice when they want to go to the bathroom, and then they're taken to the horse trailer, which is really incredible. And these horses ride elevators, walk upstairs. They're just an amazing, wonderful people. Debbie and George are just amazing. They were with us for the CEP equine meeting last week and talked about their literacy programs. They have a literacy program here at the downtown market every summer. They had over 100 kids this time come, and most of them had never touched a horse. And Gentle Carousel also have books about their horses, so you can read the book and meet the horse that's in the book. And they will be visiting 8 elementary schools here in the Marion County area over the course of the next few months, going into the schools with their books and letting the kids in elementary schools meet their miniature horses. So very, very special group. And if you buy one of these $25 tickets, you can go to the documentary premiere on December the 3rd at the Marion Theatre here downtown, which is an amazing, amazing theatre. I love it. You feel like you've stepped back a little bit into history, and that's going to be at 7:30. There is a VIP pre-party at 6:30, and Magic will be arriving in a limousine to the red carpet
With yours truly,
with me.
Louisa Barton.
I'll be in the limo with Magic. That's pretty special. Pretty
Small in
exciting.
stature, big in heart.
Are you talking about me or the...
The minis.
Yes, Magic does have a really, really big heart. She's really an amazing horse. And she's actually in the USEF Hall of Fame as well. She's AARP's most favorite animal. She's everything. She's Time Magazine's most heroic.
And didn't she get an honorary to the police department?
Yes, she is also an honorary Ocala Police Department officer now as well. She was actually, what is that, inducted? Do you get inducted?
I guess.
I don't know what you do. You get what? Sworn in. Sworn in. Thank you very much, Olivia Fuller. Sworn in at the Ocala Police Department with Chief Balkin just a couple of weeks ago. So
did she say nay?
Very funny. She made a lot of people smile. She went into the ops room and sort of met a bunch of dispatchers and she made a lot of people smile. One officer took a selfie with her, which was pretty cute. But really, really exciting to have such a wonderful horse here in our area and have a chance to meet her at this event. So also coming up is the Piranha 50th anniversary celebration and golf tournament. They will be celebrating 50 years in business. They are family owned and operated. One of their top folks there has recently lost a family member. So our prayers and thoughts go out to him at such a very difficult time, and our hearts and our condolences are absolutely with him and his family. But this event is actually benefiting the Youth Ranch Equestrian Program as well as the Canine for Warriors program. And it's going to be December 15th and 16th. Thursday at the Marion Theatre again will be for the premiere of the Piranha Life documentary. And then December 16th, which is the Friday, will be the Country Club of Ocala for the breakfast, the shotgun start, the lunch buffet, the golf, and all the fun stuff that will be going on there. So, and this is generally sponsored by Anvu, which is one of their companies that supplies them with a lot of their product. And you can also see Golf Central, Loco Graphics, DeLuca Toyota, Everglades Equipment, sponsor Barentz, a number of sponsors that are going to be involved in this event, making it happen. And then all of that money is going to good causes. So a great way to celebrate 50 years in business, and how much we appreciate Piranha, who started out here in the Marion County area, kind of went away and went national and came back here. Don't forget, Urban Cowboy Night is coming up. Stirrups and Strides Therapeutic Riding Center will be having their annual event.
Dancing
with Dancing Pete. That's going to be at 4246 West Highway 318 in Citra at their covered arena, and tickets are $75 a piece, and you can still buy a table. And don't forget, to Diva the Dolly, you can dress up as, you can shave your goatee off and dress up as Dolly and
lip sync for a
$20.
contest.
Yes, and win. I'm the judge, by the way.
And
Fun
we
stuff.
need to wrap up.
We do. We'll be back with Richard Larsen from Larsen Hay. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now, or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
Justine Dutton, Grand Prix show jumper and previously international event rider, coming to you from Notting Hill Stables in Ocala, Florida. Here at Notting Hill Stables, we use Equine Therapy International PAMF Activomed blankets on all of our show jumpers. These help to relax muscles and promote blood flow and circulation. We use the Activomed blanket on a daily basis as well as at competitions. It helps us a lot at competitions, especially before they start jumping. The tense horses really like it because it just helps to relax their muscles so they feel ready and confident to go in the ring. After the horses have jumped, we like to put it on and it really helps with recovery. I would highly recommend Equine Therapy International and all their products for all your therapeutic needs.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Spot on. We have a segment now where we got a chance to chat to Richard Larsen at Larsen Hay and the endeavor that we went on down south with the hay, and Richard gave us so much hay to take to people in need after Ian struck, and it was really, yes, a difficult time, and he was so generous. And Betsy Bavacqua, who works for him, was my awesome warrior, very entertaining and wonderful time, despite the conditions and everything. That best company you could possibly have on a trip like that, stuck on the interstate. But we had a chance to ask Richard a little bit about why this cause was so important to him, and here he is. I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show on Equus Television on all smart TV networks, and I'm here at Larsen Hay in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, visiting with an Idaho hay farmer who's one of my very favorite people in the world, and that's Richard Larsen, a man of probably the greatest integrity and the biggest heart that I've ever met, and a man who produces the best, finest hay in the world. And I think I said that Saturday at the Hobby Horse Games a million times. If you'd like to sit on the finest hay in the USA, you need to take a hay ride, courtesy of Larsen Farms. So Richard's here with us. Richard, tell us a little bit of the background of your family and hay farming.
Well, thank you. We have been in the farming business since 1883.
You look very good for your age.
Well, thank you. So I'm a fourth generation farmer, but we've been growing hay since 1883, and I'm just lucky to be in the line of generations that get to farm. So we're in Idaho, and of course Idaho's a very dry, arid climate, and so we water everything and sprinkle everything, and so we pump the water from the deep well aquifer in Idaho and then irrigate our crops. It's very volcanic, very rich soil, and we have great water.
Very important key pieces, and then ship it down here to the horse capital for us, right?
We do. We love coming to Florida. Florida's one of the places that we do ship hay to, and we ship it by train and by truck.
So a couple of weeks ago, right after the 28th of September, which was a very big day in Florida, when there was a great deal of intrepidation about what was going to happen with Ian, where Ian was going to go. Ian hit in Southwest Florida, had a huge impact on North Fort Myers, Venice, Englewood, all those areas of Southwest Florida took a really, really hard hit. And I had people outreach to me. Here we are in the horse capital of the world with the best resources there are, and certainly the best hay right here behind us. And people needed help. So I needed to go on a mission, and nobody better than your right-hand man, Betsy Bavacqua, to go with me and be my Annie Oakley, which she is, a warrior. And we made a trip with some Larsen Hay to help one farm, and found a great deal of people in need for their horses. I had reached out to you via Betsy, and you immediately responded. Tell me what your first thoughts were when I contacted you and said we need help and we need hay.
Well, of course, Florida has been very good to us, and we appreciate all of the horse owners and all of the business they give us. And so we didn't know where Ian was going to go, and we didn't know if it was going to come here in Ocala. We was concerned, but when it went further south, and the devastation we heard was terrible. So that is correct. You and Betsy made a run to Florida, down South Florida, and then Betsy says it's just beyond their imagination how bad it is. And I says, well, we can do more than we're doing, so we doubled our effort, and we're very happy to do that. But, I appreciate the chamber, the county commissioners, everybody that's involved here. I appreciate all the feed stores that have jumped in and helped. It's a community effort, and I'm just proud to be part of it.
So being here, having this warehouse facility, a couple of locations here in the horse capital, obviously that has been a huge customer for you, huge client, for so many horses, 80,000 plus horses in this area, which has benefited you greatly. Yet, kind of tell us why, even though South Florida is not nearly obviously as big a deal as far as the horses go, not to say they're not just as important, but there aren't nearly as many, why your heart goes out so much to those people and why you give so much. I mean, the amount of hay that you gave Betsy and I to take south was astounding. There were farms down south absolutely astounded. And by the way, when we pulled in with it, they said, wow, where did that come from? We never saw hay like that before.
Well, we do ship some hay to South Florida. We have customers down there. But, when somebody's in need, we want to be there and help. And, well, I know if we'd have had trouble here, they'd have helped us. So we're all in this together, and we want to just be there when people need help. We want to be part of it.
Tell us kind of in closing what you want Larsen Hay to be known as. For me, it is a guarantee that I can come in here and pick up my hay, and it doesn't matter whether I get a 2-string or a 3-string or an Orchard or a Timothy. I know when I get home and give it to my horses, they've got the best and finest hay in the world. I also know that as a community, we can come to you and Peggy, the Larsen family, and your team here, and they will help us within this community and horses way beyond this community, down south, wherever they might be. That is how I think of Larsen Hay. Is there anything else that part of what you want your message out there to the world to be that I missed?
Well, thank you. We're lucky to be here in Florida, especially Ocala. We love being here. Ocala, the state of Florida has been very good to our family, and we want to give back. When there's someone in need, hey, we want to be there to help. So we want to be known as have the best quality, best price, best service. That's what we try to do, and we just want to be here to benefit those who help us stay in business. So we appreciate all of the people in Ocala and through the state.
Thank you. You and Peggy, your wife, the Larsen family, your team, Betsy, my warrior. Amazing. Thank you so much, Richard. Richard Larsen here at Larsen Hay in the horse capital of the world. I can't say enough about the support, about knowing who I can turn to when I want to help others, and know that he'll come to bat. He might live in Idaho and he might farm in Idaho, but he is a huge part of our community here in the horse capital, and we are eternally grateful for everything that he's done moving forward as we continue to help in the aftermath of Ian. So don't forget, we still have a GoFundMe. We still have a drop-off at the Florida Horse Park for donations. We still have the Foundation for the CEP that you can send checks into as we continue to help those in need. They might be outside of the horse capital, but they matter to us, and they certainly matter to Larsen Hay and the team here. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and our broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Piranha, TT Distributors, and Midnight Rose Equestrian.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
If you're tired of the rigours of keeping your horse's water troughs clean and free of algae, you need the Drinking Post Waterer, an automatic waterer for horses, livestock and cattle. Field tested for over 40 years. The Drinking Post Waterer is the gold standard of non-electric automatic waterers. Check them out on Facebook or find them on the web at dpwaterer.com.
Horses! Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, host and executive producer of the show. In the studio with me, I have dancing Pete Rhoda from Complimentary Horsemanship, my co-host. Maria's missing in action tonight. We're not sure where she is. We're going to check in on her in a minute.
We miss you, Maria.
And we also have a very special guest in the studio. I'm very honoured to have with us Glenn Stewart from Glenn Stewart Horsemanship. Helps if you can get the word out. And that rarely happens to me, right?
That does.
Glenn, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So you've been doing this for over 30 years?
Yeah, I've been teaching, I guess, professionally for probably 25 or so. Yeah.
And how did you start out in horses? Were you in horses when you were a little kid?
Oh, we got, Dad got me a horse when I was young because I was always running to horses that I wasn't supposed to be going near. If we had, he had a feed mill and there was horses that were, my uncle actually would bring horses around there, and then I would pedal my bike from school over to the feed mill, and then I'd see a horse and then I'd head for the horse, and Dad would say, stay away from that horse. He's not, for kids or whatever, but I'd just keep sneaking over there when he wasn't looking, and I guess he decided I better get me a horse. So, yeah, we lived kind of on a little acreage, like an acre maybe.
And where was this?
This was up in Fort St. John, British Columbia, up in Canada. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. So you grew up there and you had your first horse. Was your first horse a horse or a pony?
It was a horse. Yeah. Yeah, it was a grey horse, Scout.
Scout.
Old Scout, yeah.
And what did you learn from Scout?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you fall off?
I got drugged by the first time, I guess. That's
an experience. Yeah.
And I always rode bareback. We weren't allowed to have saddles. We always had to ride bareback. So, which should be pretty safe. You just fall off, But we had the reins tied so I wouldn't lose the reins, because I was like between 6 and 9 when I was off riding by myself. And so somewhere in there, I don't know if I was 7 or 8 or 9, but it was definitely 9 or before, because we moved from there after 9, and I was riding by myself before then. Gone, and but yeah, one day I went down into a little following a draw on the trail in a creek bottom or whatever, and some other people were down there and popped out, spooked the horse. He spun, and I kind of swung around and caught my foot in the reins that were tied together and put a little twist on my ankle, and he took off, but not very far. He just a little ways and stopped, and I got my foot out, and that was the end of the first drag. Luckily, but I think I was too little to even realize how much trouble I was in, but how bad it could have been.
Yes, it could have been, certainly. Absolutely. Yeah, so that was kind of how you got into horses. That was the beginning.
A start, yeah, that was a start, and then we moved out to the farm, and we had cattle and all the local, the normal ranch stuff. We had pigs and chickens and all that stuff, and milk cow, and we had a couple of horses. And as I got older, I convinced Dad to let me move the cattle and round up the cattle and sort the cattle and stuff with the horses, because we used to do it on foot and run around. And anyways, as I got older and a little bit more control of the horses, then
it made sense to be on the horse for
that. Yeah, started to do that. Yeah, and then we lived close to a big river valley that I think it was about probably about 4 or 5 mile ride to the river valley. It's a huge river valley and all bush and wild country, so we'd head down there. Any day I was allowed to, I'd head down there, and as a teenager, and I don't know because we moved out there when I was 9 onto the farm, and I don't know, probably by the time I was 12 or something, I was riding down in the river valley whenever I got a chance and touring up and down there. And
how beautiful!
Yeah,
I bet it's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, that valley's
love to go.
Yeah, it's a beautiful valley. It's
folks, I'm trying to get an invitation. So I can bring you some vicarious living in a beautiful place.
Yeah.
So how remote is your place, Glenn?
It's not that remote. I'm 20 minutes from our town, Fort St. John. It's up 20,000 people. And there's a airport between my house and town, a major airport. Like you can, we fly in and out of there from Vancouver and wherever. So I'm not that far. I'm a mile off of off of pavement. But my backyard is all wilderness. Like there's moose and bear and cougars and deer and elk and stuff all running around there. So pretty close to town. But at the end of the road, right at the end of the road. So there's no road that goes by me and no traffic going by or nothing. Yeah.
So when you were growing up, did you have aspirations to be involved in horsemanship?
Not really. No, yeah. I just wanted horses all the time, and I wanted to be outdoors and playing with horses. So when I was getting close to grade 10 or somewhere around there, ask you what are you going to go to college or university for? And I couldn't think of anything that they did in college or university that I wanted to do, because I wanted to do horse stuff and be outdoors. And I thought, well, back then there really wasn't, not much going on in that neck of the woods, and definitely no school programs for it. So I went work for an outfitter and up in the mountains. So we got up there all the way down the Rocky Mountains. There's hunting outfitters all along there. So my great uncle had a hunting area, and it was about 100 miles from the nearest road. You'd drive 3 hours kind of off in the middle of nowhere, way up in the bush, and then 100 miles from the nearest road was where the lodge was, and that's where all the horses lived. And so I went to work up there at 17 and did that for 100 days a year. 15 years I did worked in the mountains, and so then I could have my horses and be outdoors.
So you learned a lot of experience.
I got a lot of experience. Yeah, we had 250 head of horses that were running around up there in the woods, and they have their colts. They're born up there. We'd bring in a new stud one or two new studs every 2 years or so, and switch them out. And so the mares are always having colts, and we always had to go round up all those horses. There's no fences or nothing up there. They're just running up, and they're just roaming wherever all over. Wow. So we'd go round them up and bring them in, and then we would have to halter brake them and foot brake them, and then get them broke to ride and all that stuff. And then we'd use them to go to our different camps. And so that was an ongoing thing every year, because there's always more colts to do, and it'd be easy to do 30 or 40 horses at least every fall up there. Yeah.
Is that challenging?
I suppose in the beginning it was, because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just kind of doing what everybody else told me to do. But for, I think it's the last 18 or 19 years, I was in charge of the horse development program for that all those horses. So then I kind of was a horse guy real quick because I just loved to do it. So some of the guys that were up there they wanted to hunt, but they didn't want nothing to do with the horses. They just used the horses to get from point A to B, but they really didn't want nothing to do with the horses. So I loved the horse part. So they would let me do that, and then I got decent at it. And then but then as I learned more and as the years went by, I wasn't working up there anymore, but I would take students or clients into the mountains. So people from all over the world would fly to my ranch in Fort St. John, and then we'd all take them up the highway for 3 hours, and then we'd fly everybody into the mountains. And
that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's my kind of adventure.
Yeah. So we'd fly them all in there, and then I, with the outfitter, he'd give me the job to develop all these horses. So 250 head horses and new colts coming every year, and so. And then my students would come in, and if they were real handy, they might get 3 or 4 horses to deal with, and if they were just learning, they would get one quiet old horse that we've been using for years or something. So it depends on everybody's abilities and what they knew, what
Hold that thought, because that horse noise you heard means we have to go to break. Yeah, we're about to get that. We'll be right back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show. Stay with us.
Current equine microchips can migrate by up to 30%, causing difficulty when scanning. With over 70 years of collective horse industry experience, LipChip offers a new, more effective method of microchipping, partnering with veterinarians and technology experts to ensure humane and practical microchipping. LipChip was built by horsemen for horsemen. Nowadays, the performance horse industry is in need of both integrity and transparency. LipChip is the future of horse microchipping, with cutting-edge technology functional for every discipline. Find LipChip on social media, and for more information, lipchipllc.com. The future is here. The future is LipChip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now, or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com. The Larsen family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations, with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larsen Hay loves to meet new customers while always honouring the ones they already have. Find Larsen Hay on the web at larsenhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab. You're switched on. You're a bit of all right. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio in downtown Ocala, the horse capital of the world, in the CEP studios with my co-host, dancing, Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship. And we have a special guest who has joined us this week, Glenn Stewart Horsemanship. And we've been chatting a bit about what I can only imagine is absolutely beautiful in British Columbia. And I want to do one of these adventures, like riding through the mountains. And
hint.
Like, I'm ready. I'm on my way. That sounds like so much fun. So let's talk a little bit about Isaac, our show producer here, is going to start putting up some.
Oh.
If you're watching us on TV or Facebook, you can see these photographs. That looks kind of interesting.
Yeah. So that's
the story I want to know about.
Yeah.
I made sure that was first.
Gigi, when I told you her name, she pulled you up on Facebook, and this is the first picture. She goes, "What is this?" I looked at it, and I'm like, "I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him."
Well, that's me and a couple of my buddies, and we're having a poker game, and we're all dressed up like ranchers and gamblers and trappers. And what we were doing is we were doing a little bit of a photo shoot, because there's some other pictures too. I don't know if you put them up, but there's of a bunch of women that were dressed up from the old days. Yeah. And so anyways, there's a bunch of us that were there, and we did a photo shoot because we have what at the ranch. So that's my indoor arena. And we have a thing we call the Horse Ranch Hoedown every March. And so in March, it's getting warm up there, but there's still snow. And so people can come in at 6:30 in the evening at around supper time. They come in at 6:30, and then we have two teams of horses with sleighs. And so as the people come in, you pick up the people, unload the sleighs up, and then you take them down through the bush and up and down around the hills to the bush bar. So I've got a bush bar that
Louisa's drooling right now that she wishes she was there doing that.
In the sleigh. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, so you take the people to the bush bar, and then they just keep going around and back up to the arena and the parking lot, and they pick up more people, and the next sleigh brings 10 or 12 people, and they just keep going around and dropping people off, and there's a big bonfire there, and this sleigh, that's in March, and so we pick up people, load up people there, and we head for the bush bar, and then that bush bar goes from 6:30 to 9:30, and then we start hauling people we usually have 110 people or something around-ish that show up, and then we take them up to the arena where the first picture was, and then we have a live band in there, and we have a dance floor and
dancing,
and dancing. Pete here.
Yeah, now that I'm excited.
I know, right now you can dance, right?
Yeah, so we go up there and have a dance, and it's a pretty good time. And this picture here is, where am I at in that picture? I remember that horse.
You're the one on the right.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, that was Costa Rica.
Oh, now
that was Costa Rica.
Cool.
Yeah, the last one was Costa Rica because we have a learning holiday adventure. And then this one here is at the Calgary Stampede. So they invited me to come and compete in the Extreme Cowboy Race.
Ooh, Extreme Cowboy Race.
Extreme Cowboy Race, yeah. So that's my stallion Jet, and I did the competition in Ropacamore. It's a 3-day event, so they have all these obstacles set up in the arena, and you don't get to see it, and your horse doesn't. You get to see it for like 10 minutes. It gets all set up, and then they walk you through the course, so you kind of try to memorize where you're supposed to go, and your horse doesn't get to see any of this. And then when it's your turn to go, it's a timed event, and it's you got to get through all these obstacles as nicely and smoothly as you can with the right leads and the good stops and the good turns and yeah. And then
So it's really easy.
Yes, it's very easy.
I think that's very easy. Lovely horse, though.
Yeah, he's a dandy, and yeah. So this is a demo that I did this spring in March at Road to the Horse. I was competing down there in a colt starting competition, and this is one of my Lusitanos, and doing a demo with him.
Beautiful.
And you've competed at Road to the Horse
twice now. Yeah, 10 years apart.
Wow. Big
2012, 2022. Yeah. It was quite a while.
That's pretty impressive.
And that's a couple of my Lusitanos, and they're all Lusitano stallions, and then a quarter horse stud in the middle there. And so I flew those over from Brazil. Actually picked them up here in Florida a few years ago, and so that's actually the 3 horses that I do quite a few demos with.
What is your interest in Lusitanos?
I got invited to go over there and do some colt starting demos and whatnot in Brazil years ago, and they toured me to all these Lusitano breeding farms, and everywhere you go, they put on a big feed you and drinks and music.
That's what they do. My best friend is from Brazil, and that's all they do. Is they feed you music, beautiful horses, and you're just like, oh, I want to be Portuguese. I want to speak Portuguese. I want to be from Brazil. I want a Brazilian bike.
I was going to go there.
I know you were. I beat you to it. But yeah, they're beautiful. And the marchadors are beautiful as well. That's what my friend has, the Mangalaga marchadors from Brazil.
Yeah, and this is back at the Calgary Stampede, and I just finished my run, and then this young fellow was, he was with Make-A-Wish, so I'm not sure exactly what complications he had, but his wish was to meet a real cowboy, and so they brought him, and when I was done my run, we met each other, and then his name is Jet, and so is my stud. And
don't you start, because if you start, I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm tearing up over here.
I know, me too. Yeah. Stop it.
And that's just at home again, out in the front yard, and again riding my stud, and that's one of my geldings that we're just playing with online. And
look at that. How old is Jet?
Jet now is 21. Yeah.
He's lovely. Yeah. Really, really neat. Incredible.
Yeah.
And these are the difficult horses?
The little challenging ones there. Yeah. So literally that Gypsy was her name, the little one. That's my oldest daughter, Carson. And that's driving the Gypsy. But I was doing a clinic up in Alberta, and I stayed at these people's place, and they said, I don't want to bother you. It's after the clinic and everything, but I've got a horse that's really, I don't know what to do with it. It's really tough. It's like, it's wild. I can't catch it, and just a big long story about this horse. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, sure, I'll give you a hand, and let's go see this horse. So we head to the pasture, and there's this little thing walking around. I was like, what the heck?
Really?
So so she ended up. I ended up buying it.
Well, you solved the problem.
I said, I'll solve the problem. I'll just buy that horse off you.
Just buy it.
I took it home, and the girls were pretty young because she's got a younger sister, and both of them ripped around on Gypsy, and then we got that wagon and brokered a harness, and so we could, when students come to the ranch, we could put their saddles and some hay bales on there and their buckets, and then we'd deliver them down to where their horses stay in the pens. And
that is a cute little horse.
Yeah, so she's raised three families, that Gypsy. She is
adorable.
Yeah.
What a cutie. That was the sound. That means we have to go to break. So we'll be back in a few minutes. We do have another segment with Glenn. I'm going to ask a few questions about problem horses and the different things he teaches in his clinics. So stay with us, and then maybe he'll have a funny story for us. We'll be right back on the Horse Talk Show in just a minute.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Equine Therapy International, Nirvana Medical Spa, the Equine Performance and Innovative Centre, Summit Joint Performance, and Equigreen.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you. Piranha, your trusted leader in insect control for 50 years. The official fly spray for World Equestrian Centre. From the strongest water-based equine spray in the blue bottle to the familiar and long-time favourite in the yellow bottle. Wipe and spray, we've got you covered. If you're looking for effective plant-based fly spray, then look for our Zero Bite in the green bottle. Check us out online at piranhainc.com. That's Pyranha, piranhainc.com, to learn more about Piranha's entire family of products. Piranha, it works.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest, alfalfa.
Well done. Louisa Barton here in the studio with my co-host, Dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship. And he brought a wonderful guest for the third time.
Third wonderful guest, Glenn Stewart.
Yes, wonderful, from Glenn Stewart Horsemanship. And we've been talking a little bit about some of the neat things that he does. And we've got to see some of his beautiful horses and his 21-year-old stud, Jet. And very impressive, doesn't look his age. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of his training methods. So, Glenn, talk to me a little bit about, anything probably from catching a horse without treats. Folks, did you hear that? Without treats? To loading in a horse trailer, leading, issues, problems with horses, problem horses that somebody is having a people problem with. Did I say that out loud? All of the above and more.
You want to know horse training advice, sort of. Okay, well, that's a horse that I have at home at this very minute, and this was his 8th session, I believe. This was session number 8, so I did 5 down in Alberta, and then we brought him home and started working with him and another one. And so this is just making sure that he's not scared of noise and movement, which everybody should check out on their horses. Make sure their horses aren't scared of noise and movement. As far as horse training or technique or tips about whatever, the biggest tip I was mentioning this to Pete the other day, I would say that the 50% of what you will get or won't get with your horse is going to do with your perspective. So there would be my biggest tip that I could give anybody. Your perspective is going to determine what you get or don't get. And so I elaborated a little bit with Pete.
That's pretty much one of those things we talked about that you can move over into your everyday life, right?
That's right.
That's right. And what do you mean by perspective?
Yeah, so everybody has perspectives, and your free to have any perspective that you want. Nobody can make you have a perspective here or there. This is right now, this picture is just a colt that I just started here in Citra. So this is session number 4 on this one. So it was halter broke. But anyways, your perspective on what you think horses can do and can't do, and what this means and what that doesn't, what this means and what that means, all your perspective, millions of perspectives. Everybody's got a million perspectives, whether it's horses or anything, it doesn't matter what it is. Everybody's full of perspectives. So some of our perspectives are not any good whatsoever. All of us are packing some right now. But hopefully you're working hard to get perspectives that are going to benefit you and the horse when we just stick with horses and handling horses and stuff you want to do with horses. So but how I would say that would affect, so let's say if it was possible, it's not, but let's say it was possible to give you, everybody gets the exact same horse, exactly 100% same horse. Can't do that, but let's say you could. Then let's say that I could give everybody the same amount of feel and timing. So feel and timing is the two things that horses want more than anything in the world from us. That's their main thing that they would like in their human. So let's say I could give everybody the exact same feel and timing. And let's say everybody had got the exact same tools, the same amount of time. Everybody got the same amount of time. They only have to have one perspective. I'll just pull one out of the air. But let's say there's 3 people, and one of them said my horse should never sweat. Somebody else said my horse should always sweat, and somebody else said my horse might sweat sometimes and might not sweat other times. So they have 3 different perspectives. Just those 3 things alone. Everything else is 100% the same, and you're going to create 3 different horses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's one of my Lusitanos. That was in Kentucky this spring. I was just out playing with them because we were going to the road to the horse there, and I was just out playing with my horses. My daughter was there, and she's pretty tricky with her phone. She just did this with her phone. I was just playing with the horses there, and she started shooting some stuff, and
very impressive.
This thing went kind of viral. It was.
They are
I don't know
beautiful,
how many
aren't they?
million views this thing got, but yeah. They're pretty cool horses.
So from my perspective,
yeah,
doing Liberty, that's pretty spot on, top notch.
Yeah,
Liberty.
It's okay. There's some things.
There's some okay.
Need
See,
better.
Different perspective, huh?
Yeah, some stuff I could have did better, but they are pretty good guys.
I'm just plain old impressed.
Luis's perspective is, oh my God, how do you do that?
No, my perspective is, oh my God, that's a horse and it's beautiful, and I just can't. I just am like in love watching it, so that's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
So that's an interesting way of looking at everything. Is it's your student has a different perspective. You've got to help them.
Yeah, so I can share my perspectives, and your perspectives comes from a lot of places. You get perspectives from other people. You get perspectives from things that you just think you just seen on the thing. You get perspectives, from videos you watch, books you read, you go to a clinic or something. You're getting all these perspectives from all these different people and places and things, and then also your perspective comes from all these different experiences you've had. So the more varied your perspectives and the more things that you have done with horses and whatever, your perspective is obviously going to change. So if let's say I only did dressage, or only did racing, or only did cutting or something like that, my perspective would be around that discipline or industry. Mm-hmm. And so, but if I did dressage and jumping and cutting and reining and racing and packed horses in the mountains and blah, 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 on and on. All of a sudden, I've got different perspectives now because I've went and did all these different things with horses, and I've worked with, top-end horses. Like when we went to Brazil, they're letting us ride $120,000 Lusitano stallions, ranch from ranch to ranch, and then I go to the mountains and I ride, what we call a cayuse. He's just bred to whatever's bred to whatever, and they're living on the side of a mountain, and there's nothing fancy about them at all, but the things that they do are pretty incredible.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah. So we get traveling up in that country since I'm 17. I've been taking horses and going through there, and those horses live in all that country. You got to go round them up.
That's it. I'm moving.
Yeah. Yeah. So I take students on these trips. People from all over the world show up there, and then we give them horses and we take them on adventures. So we call this a learning holiday adventure. So you come and you learn, you holiday, and you're going to get some adventure. And we do this in Costa Rica, and we do it in Brazil, we do it in Vienna. We got Spain coming up next October. Yeah. Spain too, yeah.
I always wanted to go to Spain.
I want to go to Canada now. We got people all on the studio wanting to go also.
Glenn, before we run out of time, because it happens so fast, but will you share with us how people can find you, follow you, join monthly, however, book you for a clinic, just how they can track you down?
Sure, yeah. The Horse Ranch, thehorseranch.com is our website, and Glenn at thehorseranch.com, or Sandy at thehorseranch.com, or Val at thehorseranch.com, or Jim at thehorseranch.com.
See that? Thehorseranch.com. There you go. That's it. Yes.
So,
and so that's how they can get more information about. Is that the noise for real?
Now the horse is running.
It's not really the minute. That was not really. Oh, it really is the minute. Oh, goodness. Glenn, I want to thank you so much for joining us. We could have probably talked for 3 more, but we definitely would love to have you back on the show again. Thank you, Pete, for the introduction. Much appreciated, and learned a lot, and like to learn a lot more.
Thanks for the perspective.
Or
the new perspective.
I know. My perspective is now I want to go there. We'll be back, and we're going to finish out the show. Our last segment's going to be with Olivia Fuller from Crystal Cryo, so stay with us.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and broadcast sponsor, Larsen Farms. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Equine Therapy International, Nirvana Medical Spa, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, Summit Joint Performance, and Equigreen.
Hi, I'm Alan Davies with Equine Therapy International. Today we're at Engineered Equine Performance, celebrating the new saltwater chilled treadmill. This particular chilled equine saltwater treadmill is a game changer. As you can see, the finest materials are used. The filtration system, coarse, fine filtration, no chemicals. We use UV, ozone, combination of filtration to keep the highest water chemistry standards. Being a saltwater unit, only the finest stainless steel and materials are used. That's important when it comes to longevity and cost of service over the life of the unit. This unit also has integrated massage jets with fine bubbles and coarse air bubbles for the therapy. The control system on this is Siemens industrial grade, top of the line technology, straight from Germany, but also serviceable here in the US.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Center Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Center now on Facebook, and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Summit Joint Performance, promoting a healthy, thick synovial fluid, decreasing inflammation in the joints and improving the cushioning properties of the cartilage pads. All age horses can benefit from Summit Joint Performance.
Maria Lacasse of Midnight Rose Equestrian's background is in natural horsemanship and dressage principles, with a main focus on maintaining a balance of communication and correct biomechanics between horse and rider. Come to her farm, or she'll come to yours. Allow Maria to help you and your horse to unwind and balance to increase performance, so that you can both be the best you can be together, to build a lifelong partnership of success. Maria Lacasse of Midnight Rose Equestrian is a graduate of the Equine Natural Movement School for Equine Structural Integration and a Florida School of Massage graduate. Find Midnight Rose Equestrian on social media and on the web at midnightroseequestrian.com and book your massage for your horse and you right away. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
0.
Back on the last segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Woo! Louisa Barton here in the studio with Pete Roeder from Complimentary Horsemanship, and we have Olivia Fuller here with us on our very big debut on the show from Crystal Cryo. Woo! And we have a new episode for you. We have a little opener here that we're going to show you. Each month we will have an episode for you of on-the-go fun things to do and self-care things that you can do for yourself that will be good for you, healthy for you, self-care for you, and also fun activities. And we'll test them out for you and share them with you.
Uh-oh.
And it'll be fun.
It'll be so fun.
Yeah, you'll get to see all kinds of fun things. But this week, what we want to focus on is what Olivia does. And more recently, I don't know exactly the time frame, but more recently, Olivia Fuller and her mother, Laurie Dennis, opened up that's beautiful, Laurie Dennis.
She is gorgeous. I love my mom.
Yeah, good genes. Co-owners of Crystal Cryo here, just up the road, literally, in Workplace Collective, which is...
Workspace Collective.
Thank you, I can't do it.
Space.
Thank you.
Workspace Collective.
Not Workplace Collective.
Dancing Pete got it.
He did. And we've actually got a little walk-in video here for you of this space, which is it's remarkable what they've done with this. I still want to get in those swings.
They're so fun. I try to swing in them about once a week.
This is a pretty neat idea to do an area like they have like a common area with a place you can buy drinks and food and nice place to sit. They have a game room, and then
they've really made it a community in there. So Kaylin, who is our community manager, every Monday she makes energy bites. We have waffle Wednesdays. We have coffee Fridays. So it's...
When should I show up?
Wednesdays. You want waffle Wednesday. You can be my guest.
Oh, okay.
I had some small batch in there yesterday that was yum, yum, yum. And when you get to the back, to the best part's at the back. See what it says on the door? It says Crystal Cryo, and look at that beautiful area in there. And
what do they do in that room?
Well, I fall asleep in that room. So let me just tell you that
Louisa gets her weekly naps.
Yes, I snore in there. We won't share that video though. She has a snoring video of me.
Not a snoring video, but a very passed out. Louisa was out for the count.
Good. She needs that sleep.
I know. I let her sleep. I got on my laptop and I went to the printer 9 times and I just let her...
9 times?
It was quite a few times. I just let her nap. I just kept on working.
Lisa wakes up. Lisa, you got to go. We're closing.
Time, we're closed. It's almost breakfast.
Well, funny story is I had woken her up after about 25 minutes of her napping and I said, hey, do you need to be anywhere? And she's like, no. And I said, okay, you go right back to sleep.
Wow, I want to go. What are we doing? What do you guys do?
So that's what she's going to tell us about next. What is Crystal Cryo?
So Crystal Cryo is Ocala's first cryotherapy spa for anti-aging and body sculpting. So it is non-invasive and it feels like a cold massage because we use a massage-like technique. But what that does is it tightens the skin, it tones the skin, it creates more collagen in it, it flushes out your lymphatic system, and it really just makes you a brighter you. Really want people to just take care of themselves, but they don't need to go to these extremes.
See, guys have it.
Guys do have, and you don't have to shave gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean that's really, really. It's okay for a guy to have it. She already said she'd do a demo on you.
Yeah,
go check it out.
My Christmas present to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Before and after shots. Huh?
Just call me Santa.
Okay, Santa.
It's incredible.
What did you get for Christmas? Oh, 10 years off my face.
Who doesn't love that?
Hey, there you go.
Hey, look, if you've been an equestrian all your life, let's face it, you've been out in the sun an awful lot. Now, you have a cowboy hat on, granted,
That's our
which helps.
Louisa.
But that's kind of scary there.
The top left photo is her mug shot from.
Well, that's what we call the side profiles. As I tell her, I said,
Mugshot,
"Okay,
yeah.
it's time to take your mug shot."
Yeah, mug shot time.
And she knows now. She just turns for it.
Yeah,
and
mug shot. Go ahead, get it done. But really, super relaxing. You want to talk about like go out like a light? I'm not kidding. Like fast asleep, relax. And when people say cold, everybody thinks cold, and it's not what you think. It's not like icy.
I was freeze brand when I was in college when we were doing cattle, and it burned. So hopefully it's not that cold.
It's honestly an undescribable cold
comfortable.
because it is the most comfortable cold you will feel ever.
Now, how does it work to create more collagen, and how does it?
Well,
how does it benefit? 'Cause
At
that's what we're looking at
25, we stopped building collagen in our skin. So that's
a couple years ago for me then.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not quite there yet, so we're good.
So what this does is cold is the best therapy you can give to yourself, to others. What happens when you get hurt? What do doctors tell you? Ice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is ice on ice on ice in the most beautiful way possible.
It really is. And honestly, she literally, I mean, this might sound odd, but she literally strokes your face and you fall asleep. I mean, I love even a regular facial, but knowing the benefits that you're getting long term, and you recommend a series of 5.
Oh.
Yes. I recommend at least a package of 5.
Wiggle up. She always tells me to wiggle up.
I'm like, come on, come on,
wiggle up.
Is that you, Louisa?
Of course.
Oh, you're looking beautiful.
That's no makeup on. That's scary.
Wow.
That's makeup off. Because that's the first thing. That after the jewelry, off with the makeup.
And I put a nice jewelry box in there just to make it a really loving, warm environment.
Yep. And then she wraps your hair up so it's...
Is that what she's doing? Wrapping your hair up? Thanks.
Gets you all comfortable, puts a blanket on you.
Wow.
And then she gets all the gel. Like, what is that gel?
Yeah, so it's essentially like an ultrasound gel, but it's got this eucalyptus scent to it. So it really is just the full relaxation experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right here, Louisa's already asleep. I think
we're 2 minutes in and she's gone.
Yeah, she normally falls asleep on her second side.
Yeah, well, the only time Louisa's still lying down is at bedtime. So when Louisa lies down, she's like, "Oh, that's it. It's time to go to sleep." So super relaxing, incredibly therapeutic, just amazing feeling afterwards. Just the sensation, your face is glowing within hours, 24
You see your
hours.
best results after 48 hours because that lymphatic system's draining and that collagen is building. So that's where you're going to find your best results.
You look like you're having your lips done without having to have them done.
Right? Without having them done is really amazing.
And she was sleeping.
I am out.
She is out. Your viewers have never seen this before.
I'm asleep.
They're just like, whoa,
we should go mess with her on her next one.
Oh my gosh, that's the last minute.
Well, I can tell you.
We giggled too much.
Yeah, I can tell you when somebody's passionate about something, that makes me want to go try it. So that's
Olivia Fuller, Crystal Cryo.
Yeah.
You can find her, crystalcryo.net. Thank
Yes.
you. crystalcryo.net. Make your appointment. Great Christmas gift for family, friends, and loved ones. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not. Happy horsing around. Till the same time next week.